So what's up, guys? I am back with my channel, Trav the Sav here. This particularly is going to be my sports section of my channel, so it's going to be Savage Sports. And today we're going to be talking Week 1 football, and in particular, we are going to be talking with my boy Kevin Lee. You know, he has his own sports channel on YouTube as well. It's Sports Talk with Kevin Lee, right? You want to kind of bring what you do with your channel?
So for my channel, I interview like high school, college, and even some professional athletes all over the Bay Area, including football, basketball. I mean, whoever wants to get on, just talk about the things that we don't know about their life. So recently, I got someone to talk about JUCO life and how tough it is. So I just try to give a variety of people on there and just, give people an inside look on what we don't know about them.
Got you. And to also add to that, you know, you had a couple Laney College connections there. You had Coach John Beam, right? And you also had, I forget his name, but the receiver.
RJ Stern.
RJ Stern, yeah, check that out. That was a cool interview. So yeah, guys, just check out his channel. The link's gonna be in the description. Just give him some views.
Yep.
So for starters, you know, this channel is going to be, you know, it could be all types of sports, but today in particular, we're going to talk NFL. You know, we both love football. That's actually how we met, through the 49ers doing an internship. So I don't know if you guys all knew that, but we had an internship last season, and we're just going to kind of jump right into it. I'm a Niners fan. My boy Kevin's a Raiders fan, but we get along well. No issues there. But we're going to talk the Week 1 football thoughts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was a good bit of ugly in the first week. Kind of, what are your thoughts, Kev? Like, what team stood out to you?
The teams that stood out to me are the Seahawks and the Rams and Packers. I'll throw one more in there, but I think someone should look out for the Bills. Because Seahawks, Jamal Adams, Packers, Aaron Rodgers looked like MVP form. And the Bills, Josh Allen looked a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. I think Josh Allen looked real good. I remember actually a throw in the first half where we rolled out to the right side and fired a laser to John Brown. I thought the Ravens looked pretty good, but that's to be expected.
Lamar Jackson looked great again and just picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, no, that's to be expected. Yeah, the biggest teams that stood out to me, I would kind of reiterate a little bit. The Seahawks were really impressive, especially because, I mean, I know the Falcons weren't the greatest team record-wise last year, but at the end of the season, they were playing good football. You know, got some good wins, beat the 49ers, actually. And they looked like they were in the right direction going forward to this season. So, I mean, if I had to bet, I would have bet and picked the Seahawks. But I thought it'd be a closer game. But, man, Jamal Adams was all over the field, wrecking havoc. So he was a big difference in that defense for sure. And, yeah, it's a little bit scary. I mean, they dominated that game. Being a Niners fan, I'm like, ooh, man, not too good. They stood out. The Packers stood out. You know, as much as I may have hassled Packer fans, you know, from the NFC Championship, I heard a lot of talk. I have a lot of family actually in Green Bay. But they look really good. It was impressive. I mean, Rodgers, I think, may have that extra motivation after drafting Jordan Love in the first round. I think that might have given him his edge. So that was those two teams stood out the most to me. I mean, there was a variety of teams. There were some teams that looked bad. There were some upsets. I would say kind of transitioning to the teams that looked bad and then kind of going from bad to ugly. Ooh, a couple teams that really – I mean, it's hard to narrow it down just to one particular team. I would say as a whole, a lot of teams didn't look too good. I don't know if that's per se because missing preseason football. Teams looked sloppy, didn't really come out firing. I would say, you know, a team that kind of disappointed me was the Colts. I thought they had a pretty good defense, and then adding DeForest Buckner to that defensive line. And, you know, you had Darius Leonard back there right at linebacker, and I figured that the defense would get rolling, especially against the Jaguars, who really weren't expected to do well this season. I mean, it was probably a surprise for a lot of people that they even won. So that was a big disappointment. Philip Rivers did Philip Rivers things and didn't go too well. What about you? Who didn't look too good for you? I mean, we're going to go to the ugly after, but this is just kind of the bad.
Couple teams, the Lions giving up a big lead again. I feel like
Come on, man.
That's the worst way to start off the season. Like, just just finish it off. DeAndre Swift in the end zone. Just
Oh, yeah.
Rook. And then I'm going to go off of what you said again, the Colts. Like, you got Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to win that game, but
Yep.
that's the risk about getting Phillip Rivers. He does do those late interceptions. Those are just too costly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I would say he's probably an upgrade over Jacoby Brissett just because at least Rivers is a gunslinger. You know, he'll I forget his stat line, but I know his stats statistically he put up yards, and a lot of which is checkdowns to running backs, of course. But yeah, I just don't know. He just throws too many interceptions. He puts his team in a liability. It's hard to count on that guy for sure. And then the ugly, and I'm going to say ugly as in disappointment, and especially my disappointment is the 49ers. It's as hard as it is to say. I mean, the first half, it wasn't ugly. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't ugly. In the second half, it just got horrible. Really, really bad. It was heartbreaking. Well, what would you say? Any other teams that stand out for the ugly, or would you kind of reiterate on the Niners being?
I'm going to go with the Niners too because the expectations just start off the season like with a bang and just let the whole world know that we're still here. They just didn't look that great. I mean, you could say no Brandon Ayuk, no Debo, but still Jimmy, he's going to keep looking back at that throw because I'm going to talk about it. The throw to Kendrick Bourne, I'm sorry, but you have to make that throw, man.
Got to.
You don't even beat Patrick Peterson that much, but you have to do it.
Got to make it. The way I think about it is we had both starting receivers out, Debo and Ayuk. And I know Ayuk is just a rookie, but he was dominating it in training camp. And, I mean, we're already so decimated with injuries. We signed J.J. Nelson. He got hurt. Tavon Austin signed. He got hurt, out for the year. And we were really counting on Jalen Hurd, and he's also out for the year. Despite all that, you throw that to the side. I mean, obviously that's going to make things more difficult. Mm-hmm. But there were guys that were open throughout the football game. And we're just going to focus in. I'm going to talk about all that more, but we're going to focus in on that one play you're talking about for the game winner. It's a little bit disappointing as a fan and also just rooting for Jimmy Garoppolo after he fails to make that game-winning throw just right after he failed to make the game-winning throw in the Super Bowl. And I had been the person sticking up for Jimmy for a while. I'm not like someone who thinks he's a top 5 quarterback. I think he sits top 10 to 15, in my opinion. But missing that big throw in the Super Bowl and then missing this throw, and this throw was a lot easier. I mean, Kendrick Bourne had Patrick Peterson beat, and it was a duck. It was a duck. There's no other way to put it. And I think, I'm sure there were teams that overall looked more ugly than the 49ers, but I say ugly with the expectation of a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl or bust. That's the reality. And now it wasn't good.
Like a team that could contend go back because Jimmy, you got to make big boy throws if you want to go back to the Super Bowl and then win, of course.
I agree. So kind of stepping away, just to talk about the Niners as a whole, man, Jimmy Garoppolo played bad. We kind of hit on that. We're going to talk about that more in a little bit, but the team was bad. I mean, the defense, let's talk about the defense. The defense was absolutely horrible. I mean, last season, just kind of look at the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. The 49ers almost lost twice last season to the Cardinals on 2 close games. And they didn't really change it up too much as style. Kyler runs, he got a rushing touchdown last season at home, like at Levi Stadium. And it's the same offense, same situation. The Niners know going into this game that their one Achilles heel for that defense is mobile quarterbacks. Any person that they don't know how to contain in the pocket. And because what it does is basically allows so your pass rush can't really hone in and get, upfield because you have to worry about his scrambling ability. So it really kind of eliminates your pass rush. So it really opened it up for him. And it's just ridiculous that after this long of planning, knowing what you were gonna get, going into the game week 1, and he almost ran for 100 yards. And then not to mention, the defense absolutely got torched by DeAndre Hopkins, which is embarrassing in itself. Like the biggest things coming in, I'm no defensive coordinator, but the top 2 things I would think if I were is 1, stop Kyler Murray from running, and 2, do everything you can to make them beat you some other way besides DeAndre Hopkins. Make them go to Fitzgerald, make them go to Kirk, make them run the football, but you cannot get beat that way. So that was a tough one, man. That was a tough one. So I'm going to kind of suggest what I would do going forward with a mobile quarterback, like if facing even Russell Wilson. Russell's a little bit different, but someone like extremely athletic, if they were to face like, a Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray type of quarterback, I'm going to kind of explain to you what I would do. I would do similar to what the Chargers did. I don't know if you remember this game. The Chargers against the Ravens in the playoffs in 2018.
They neutralized him.
Yeah, they neutralized Lamar. I mean, he didn't do anything passing or running. And the way that they did that is they actually didn't have linebackers and they put safeties at backer and they played with a fast defense. So they had, your corners out there and your safeties, kind of like a quarters defense in a way. And they just played fast. And I mean, it just made the big difference. I mean, a linebacker nowadays is pretty much pretty much a safety now anyways, but still that safety speed is just different than the linebacker speed as far as coverage, covering Lamar or Kyler. So that's what I would have done. It would have minimized, it was very successful for the Chargers, and the Chargers run a very similar defense to the 49ers as well. So I think it would have worked. That's what I would have done personally. And then as far as Jimmy Garoppolo, it is not looking good. I'll kind of show you some film and kind of breakdowns what I thought. But overall, I thought that it was his worst performance of his NFL career. I don't think that's a lot to say too, because he didn't throw any interceptions. Had no picks. His stat line was decent. It wasn't horrible. But if you really sit there and analyze the game and analyze the film, it was really bad. There was a couple things that I noticed just right off the get-go. He looked very uncomfortable. He was missing a whole bunch of reads. Guys were wide open. He was missing them. He wasn't going through his progressions, and if he was going through his progressions really slowly. The only time he would really complete a pass is his first read, which was Kyle Shanahan's first read. You go, Jimmy, throw it to Kittle, crossing the route, and he just throws it. It's a quick snap throw. But anytime that Jimmy had to say, oh, this guy's not open, he would panic.
And he almost got away with the interception. I remember he rolled to the right and threw it up there. There was a pass interference, which they shouldn't have done, which was going to be an interception. So he got away with stuff. So it's just he just doesn't look right back there.
No, he doesn't look comfortable. He looks a shell of his old self. I don't know if maybe, I hate to speculate, but I don't know. It could be psychological. I mean, the guy is talented. There's no questioning that. He's a talented quarterback. We've seen him play really well. But that was by far his worst game. I saw that. I saw the indecisiveness. And when he made the correct decisions, he was, either high, low, left, right, a duck. And it was just overall a horrible performance. So I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of my thoughts and some passes and some decisions that, really changed the game here. So right here we are up. I say we. The 49ers are up 10-0.
You're part of them too.
Yeah, I know. The 49ers are up 10-0 here. 7 minutes left. Right here, this is actually a third down. Garoppolo's back there. Third down here. This is actually right before the punt gets blocked. So, if you convert this third down, the Niners were really, really horrible at third down conversion on Sunday. Normally last season, they were one of the best teams in the NFL. But here's a Garoppolo missing a pretty open Trent Taylor for a first down. So I'll show you here. Garoppolo steps back, makes the throw, overthrows Trent Taylor, kind of rewinded a little bit, overthrows Trent Taylor for a first down. As an NFL quarterback, I mean, you're going to sit here, people are going to miss throws. I'm not going to say that. But this happened so much, and I'm only going to show you a couple plays in the first half, but they were horrible. And this is a throw, no pressure really, wide open, and misses them, completely misses them. So that's one play. And then subsequently, the very next play, look what happens. It's 10-0. Niners have all the momentum. It's looking like a blowout, or it's going to be. And the punt gets blocked. So I'm not going to say, they would have kept driving down the field, But as an NFL quarterback, you have to make those throws and extend drives. You can't not convert those easy third downs. So that's one play that really stood out to me. And then I'm going to kind of show you one more here. Well, I actually have several more, but let me fast forward it.
Are we going to blame that block punt on no preseason?
I'm going to blame that block punt on the fact that was actually Dante Johnson. He's a longtime 49er, actually, but he just got pulled up from the practice squad and got to the active roster, and he just missed his block. He's actually right here. And I don't know if you can necessarily blame that on preseason, because that's something that they do in practice. So you can't really justify that. So here you go. Jimmy Garoppolo, 1st and 10. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4. Doesn't throw the ball away. He has opportunity. I mean, in the NFL, that's the only time that you get. Protection wasn't bad. The coverage, I'm sure he didn't have anyone open. It was a coverage sack. But in the NFL, you can't do that. And he has horrible pocket awareness. I mean, we all saw the play where he did a little 3 twists. But in the NFL, you got to you had a space right here to run, or you have to throw that football away. So that's another.
You got to go.
Yeah.
You got to right away.
You got to go north to south. You got to go. You just got to go for it. And that's, stuff like that. I know it's just one play, but unfortunately, stuff like that happens quite often. I'm going to kind of go through here and some more plays.
It builds up, though.
It's accumulation. If you keep adding bad play after bad play, it really affects your offense and your team as a whole. He takes a snap, goes his first read, second read, feels the pressure, run or throw the ball away. Run or throw the ball away. You can't take that sack. Look at it. Okay. They got an arm up right there, but he wasn't even close to him. Run, run, or throw it away. Yeah, it's not okay. Oh, here's the next one. Here's the next one. That's the next one. Very next play. This is something that bothered me too. This one isn't Jimmy Garoppolo. This one's Dante Pettis. We have Jerick McKinnon.
Yep, I heard. Yep.
We have Jerick McKinnon here. Okay, nice run.
Hold it.
Outside, Pettis misses his block. He gets tackled on the 1 yard line, and they don't end up scoring a touchdown.
It's the little things.
The little things. If Pettis makes a block there, it's an easy walk-in touchdown. Or let's say he doesn't even hold his block, but he just makes it so he can give you an outside lane, gives you a lane to run through. That's fine. But Pettis loses his block, and the freaking corner makes the tackle. Horrible. You can't, as a football team that has aspirations to get back to the Super Bowl and win, you can't do that. I don't care if you're not a starter. You were a second-round pick, Dante. You got to do better than that.
Hey, and he's on the brink of getting cut next offseason or something. You gotta.
Or maybe now. Maybe this season. I can't imagine him getting cut until we get our guys back, as in Debo and Ayuk healthy completely. But man, you can't in the NFL. You can't do that, especially for a team that runs the football like the Niners. You just can't allow that. Got Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. Steps up, makes a throw.
Fit it right here.
And see, here's the problem with this throw. For one, I know, and I'm not an NFL quarterback. I know that Dante Pettis doesn't like contact. He's not going to make a contested catch. So you can't lead him into the safety. What you need to do is throw him away from the defense and let him get the yak. So I'm going to see here. Let me show you. It's going to be a replay. I'm going to kind of break down where he should have thrown the football. I blame Jimmy for the throw. It wasn't a great throw. It would have been a tough catch if Dante had to catch that. But he has to do better. He has to at least reach and extend and then at least give it a try. So actually I have to rewind. I don't think they're going to show a replay here. So there you go. Okay, Jimmy throws it. There's Pettis. Okay. So the throw ends up being like right over here. And it would have been a tough catch for Dante. But that throw needs to be over here towards the pylon. It needs to be towards the pylon, because what you're going to do is you're not going to lead your receiver towards the defense. You're going to lead him towards the sideline, towards the pylon where there's empty space. That would allow Dante to make an easy catch and score right there. Boom. But he leaves it hanging, and he throws it too far. And, I mean, that was a horrible job by Pettis not even reaching out for it. I mean, come on. But it's a bad throw. It's a bad throw. So I've shown you a handful of plays, and this was the good half. This was his best performance. So the second half was worse. We're not going to even get into that. We'll be here all day. But that was – and see, here's the thing. I don't want to seem like a pessimist. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I want Jimmy Garoppolo to succeed. But with that being said, I am a realist too. I'm not going to, I'm not going to stick up for him. If I see that there's room for an improvement, he needs to improve. If I see that he's doing well, I'll praise him. And he has done well in multiple games last season, but this wasn't it. And, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more before this next play. I'll just pause it on the right play, the right time. Okay. So overall, what Jimmy G reminded me of, just thinking about the complaints I had with him, it was slow reads. It was locking in on a receiver, bad pocket awareness, bad pocket presence. Those were like the biggest complaints I had, obviously. And, throwing high, low, left, right, the accuracy was off. And I was sitting there thinking, who does that remind me of? And Kev, does it sound kind of like a former 49er quarterback a little bit? Colin Kaepernick? It sounds awfully like Colin Kaepernick. I love Colin Kaepernick. I love what he's doing as far as, outside football, all the various things he's doing communities. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate that. But as far as a flat-out football player, Cap struggled with pocket awareness. Cap struggled with accuracy. He locked onto receivers. He didn't read through his progressions. He missed open receivers. So I'm sitting there thinking, he looked a lot like Kaepernick.
Oh, my God.
In a sense. You didn't think about that, did you?
No.
No, but seriously, it really – I sat there and thought about each aspect, and it really, really resembled. Because when Cap was playing, it was pretty much, all right, here you go. You have this receiver. If he's not open, basically run – or try to get to the next receiver in the progression, but he didn't read defenses very well. So it reminded me of that. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo normally isn't that bad to this extent that he was on Sunday, but this was definitely his worst performance. He just didn't look comfortable all game. So I'm going to kind of show you another play here. We're on 2nd and 4 here, right before halftime. It's 7-10. The Niners, could have actually broke it open in the first quarter, second quarter, but, that couple missed throws, Dante Pettis missed block, and we're here, 7-10. And, man, throws it high, an easy throw. He needs to hit him right in the hands. He throws it high and really sets up, George Kittle, and he gets him hurt. So you can't set up your receivers and your players and your tight ends. You can't set people up like that. You can't leave that ball high. What they said back in the day, what I always hear is, that's a hospital throw. You're setting them up, really. And so George Kittle, after this point, he played, but he wasn't effective at all. At least in the passing game. So you really eliminated George Kittle. So then what happened in the second half, Arizona said, all right, Garoppolo, beat me deep. Beat me with the receivers. Kittle's hurt. We're taking away Kittle. We're taking away the running game. Jimmy, beat us. And they stacked the box, and he couldn't do it. So you just can't do that. You can't set your guys up, and Kittle's actually questionable for week 2. So we're going to walk into – I know the Jets aren't the greatest football team, but we're going to walk in with maybe no Kittle. We're not going to have our starting receivers. We don't have Richard Sherman. Witherspoon has a concussion. We're walking in there with offensive line injuries. So, I mean, you're going to have to really rely on that pass rush. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. Niners, you have to play better. You have to play better. So, yeah, after showing you all that film, I'm going to kind of read off some stats for you. So, the Niners are known for their running game, right? The running backs had 98 yards combined. So, they didn't run the football very well at all, right? You didn't run the football well. Jimmy Garoppolo did horrible passing. And you know how much the receivers had on the Niners? Take a guess for the game.
How many yards?
Yeah.
7, 9. I don't know. Let me know.
41 yards. Out of wide receivers. In 2020, you got to throw the football. You have to throw the football. You can't rely on your tight end and this. You have to throw to receivers. 41 yards is not cutting it. And Kendrick Bourne led the team in receiving yards. But you can't – 41 yards combined out of the receivers. That's unacceptable. And you only had 98 yards rushing. So you didn't run the ball well. You didn't throw the ball well. Your defense gave up 91 yards rushing for Kyler Murray. So Kyler almost rushed for more yards than the entire 49ers running backs.
Career high catches for D-Hop.
D-Hop.
You're the team that gave that up.
Yeah, career high catches for D-Hop. And it's just like, looking at it, what did the 49ers do good? Special teams. They got a punt blocked. So look at it, the special team was bad. The defense was horrible. The offense was horrible. So what did they do good? Nothing. So the grade I'm going to give them, I think it's easy to say I'll give them an F, but I'm going to give them a D-. And the only reason I'm going to give them a D- is because in the first half, they were winning the football game. And they looked decent at some parts. And then the second half, we know what happened. We're not even going to get into that. So, overall, I would say record predictions. Do you want to just go through the schedule here and kind of break it down and kind of see what we think?
Yeah. And one thing about the Niners is I just don't even feel that juice with them right now. I don't know. I mean, I get there's injuries and stuff, but I don't feel it. Like last year's team was just so special.
Yeah.
But from this start, if they lose next week, you got to be worried. Real quick.
Oh, yeah. You have to be worried. I mean, I would expect them to win, even with the injuries, even to rebound. It's a must win. It really is. I know it's week 2, but it's must win. Because right now we have a lot of injuries, but this is the easiest part of the schedule. The Niners have the Jets, Giants, Eagles, and Dolphins. So if you don't win at least 3 of those 4 games, you're done. Because the schedule gets harder later in the season. You're going to play the Seahawks twice, Arizona another time, the Rams twice. You're going to play the Cowboys, the Saints. You have a tough schedule. So you have to win these games, even though you have injuries, even though this, that, you have to find a way to win. Good football teams find a way to win. So we're just going to kind of go over it. I'm going to be as unbiased as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say week 2 here. We're going to give ourselves a win here. The Jets, I'm going to say win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say week 3, I'm going to give it a win. So that's 2 wins. The Eagles, they're kind of in the same predicament the Niners are as far as injuries. They have a ton of injuries. For this sake, I'm going to give it a win, but I'm not just saying, this because I'm a Niner fan. I just think that the Niners are a super talented football team, even with the injuries. They have a Kyle Shanahan, who's a great coach. I just don't see them falling on their face like they did against the Cardinals again. I mean, not consecutively or not in the first couple weeks. These are pretty much must wins. So I'm going to say 3 wins here. The Dolphins, I'm not too worried about the Dolphins. I'll give it 4. I'm going to say here, the Rams.
Catch you.
I think that we go 50-50 with the Rams. But for the sake of it, I'm going to say we're going to give this one a loss here. So we have 4 wins. We have the Patriots.
When it picks up.
That's a tough one because the Pats have a pretty good defense. And then additionally, Cam Newton, it's a different offense. It's kind of runs the same problems as Kyler, but he's not explosive like that. But I'm going to say by then we're healthy. right? I'm going to say we're healthy by then. Sherman will be back. We're going to have, Ayuk fully healthy by then. Our interior will be healthy. I think I'm going to give that a win. So we're going to go 5 wins. The Seahawks, I'm going to give it a loss.
Yeah.
Okay. The Packers, I just think we have the Packers number. I really do. I know it's a new year, a new football team. I know it's hard to say after the Packers just dominated the Vikings, but I just think the way that the two teams are built with our defensive line, I think it's too much for the Packers offense. So I'm going to give a win there. That's 6 wins. The Saints, I'm giving it a loss. I just think the Saints overall I thought last season the Saints and the Niners had the 2 best teams in the NFC. Mm-hmm. I thought they would meet in the NFC Championship. Things didn't work out that way. I think the Saints are a team to be reckoned with. Michael Thomas will be way back by then. I think they have a good defense. I think they have Cameron Jordan, pretty good pass rush. I'm going to say Saints there. The Rams, I'm going to give us the win because we gave, the Rams the first win. I just think the Rams are a good football team. Mm-hmm. I think they're not in a good situation for the future as far as draft capital and as far as salary. I don't know. These guys are just like getting monopoly money. I don't know how they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like this signed Ramsey to a contract. I just don't know how they're going to do it for the future. It's going to be tough with the limited draft capital. The Bills, I think the Bills have a really good football team and they have a really good defense. Their offense is limited. It's very limited, of course. I mean, I think Josh Allen is a pretty good quarterback. I think that, Stephon Diggs, adding him is going to help out a lot with the pass attack. Mm-hmm. But for this instance, I think by then, like I said, the Niners are fully loaded. We have all of our guys back. I think that we get a win there. I really do. So then we're sitting at, 8 wins? Washington football team, I'm going to say that's a win. I think that's pretty safe to say. I know they, beat the Eagles, but the Eagles had a ton of injuries, and not to use that as an excuse. Their defensive line's the real deal. It is. Chase Young, he's a beast. Looked really good out there, didn't he?
They're not there yet, though.
Not there yet. I think, Haskins, I'm not sold on him. So we're going to go to the Cowboys. I think it's a 50-50 game, right? I think that's a toss-up. But for the sake of things, I'm gonna give us an L. I'm gonna give us an L. I think they're as stacked as anyone in the NFL. They just have to pull it together. They have the roster, they have the weapons. Certainly, they have the weapons on offense, man. So I think they have a good defensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence, Aldon Smith. Now Aldon looked pretty good week 1, didn't he?
He's back.
Looked like the old Aldon Smith. So I'm going to give us a loss there. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's a 50-50, but for the sake of being unbiased, I'll give us a loss. So we have the Cardinals. I do think we win this game. And the only reason I do think that is because I would hope they would come out with some sort of different strategy. I mean, in the first quarter, it looked like the Niners were going to blow them out. And then if you think about it, right, we've been over this. The Niners had a horrible offense, had a horrible defense, had horrible special teams, but they managed to barely lose that football game.
They're right there.
They were right there. So at their absolute worst, I think you could agree that's probably the worst that they could play. I think that's their absolute low. I think at their absolute low, the positive to take away is they almost beat them. And I don't know if the Cardinals could play any better than that. I mean, I really don't. They played really well. Hopkins got his career high. Kyler had 100 yards rushing. I mean, I don't know how much better they can play. So I'm going to say that's a win for the Niners. So that's 10 wins. And Seattle. Seems like Seattle's always the last game of the year. And this might be for the division. It might be for the division. It might not be. It just depends how Seattle plays. I am going to give this one to the Niners. I think that the Niners split with everyone in the division, one apiece. So I'm going to give it to the Niners here. And that's going to put the Niners at 11 wins and a wild card, I think. I think 11 wins and a wild card. I think 12 wins probably gets you the NFC West to get you the division. I do think that there could be 3 playoff teams in the NFC West this year. I'm not going to say it's the Cardinals or the Rams. I think they're both good football teams, but I think there's going to be 3. And the Niners could be the last one. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the last wild card. There's an extra playoff team
Yep.
this year. So it wouldn't surprise me, one way or the other. I think the NFC West is a toss-up, but it's certainly not a good start for the Niners. I mean, that's 11 wins, so it's going to be tough. I could see them getting 11. I could see them getting 9 and not making playoffs. I mean, maybe this year it gets you in with the extra playoff spot. I don't know. The NFC is pretty competitive. So that's kind of how I feel about the Niners. That's my prediction, 11 wins this season. And as far as the NFC West, if I had to predict, I'm going to say Seattle wins the division. I'm going to say the Niners are the second place in the division, so they're going to get a wild card. And if I had to pick between the Cardinals and the Rams, I think I would have to go the Cardinals. I think I'd have to go to the Cardinals. It's tough. It's a tough one because, I think McVay is very talented. I think that they have a good receiving core. They have they have pieces around all throughout the team, but they have, Jalen Ramsey, of course, too, who's a very good corner. I just think that this is going to be a big year for Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury in that offense. I really do. The defense isn't great by any means, but I think they're going to be so dominant offensively that they're going to catch a lot of teams off guard because the style that they play is so different compared to other teams. So it's going to be very tough. They played good football at the end of last season, too. They actually beat Seattle in Seattle. I don't know if you remember that one.
And Drake.
At the end of the year. So I'm going to go Seattle, Niners, Arizona. And kind of transitioning on from the 49ers and the record and, all that to kind of break down. Let's talk about your team. What do you think about the Raiders? And we talked about the Niners a lot. I want to talk about your team.
I think for week 1, we played really good on offense. Defense needs work, of course, but we had the big stop when we needed it. I mean, Derek Carr played an efficient game. As long as he doesn't need to win you the game, he'll be fine for you. He was efficient. He was good enough. But Josh Jacobs, that is the key. That is the key for the whole season. He gets the ball 25 times, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns.
That's a big day.
Henry Ruggs got hurt in this end of the first half. He came back, but he's going to be there. Darren Waller's there. I mean, offense was fine. We'll take that. They did pretty well. Defense needs to get better, of course, but I think that'll come with more time. But that was a great win to start off things, man. And, you can't really ask for anything else, but week 2, that is the one.
Yeah. New Orleans, that's tough. On the bright side of things, though, man, you have Michael Thomas out. That's going to be huge. I think that's you have – Emmanuel Sanders is the number 1 receiver now. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Michael Thomas.
No.
Right? And so it's gonna definitely affect the way that the Saints play. I think they're gonna lean heavily on the rushing attack with Alvin Kamara, and I think that it's gonna be a tight game. I don't want to. I'll try to predict the score here towards the end. I think it's gonna be a tough one. But just looking at Josh Jacobs, man, like you said, 25 carries, 93 yards, 3 tugs. It's a big day, leaning heavily on the running game. And then, you can kind of compare it here with Christian McCaffrey, 23 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very similar stat lines. And that's good company to be in, getting compared to Christian McCaffrey. That's a good place to be. And then looking at it, Derek Carr. I'm going to talk about Derek Carr a little bit. I have been a person who has been highly critical of Derek Carr. I think that he has his highs and his lows, much like, a lot of mid-level quarterbacks. I think he's he's kind of where Garoppolo is, in my opinion, like the 10 to 15 range. I think that's kind of where Carr is at. And the problem with that is those guys in those range, they're in that range for a reason. They have games where they're good and they have games where they're bad. They have throws where they're great, throws where they're bad. Overall, though, I was happy with Carr. I thought he made a lot of beautiful touch throws. He made some that were really – I was sitting there like, man, like that was only a few guys in the league can make those throws. I thought he played pretty well, 22 out of 30. That's really good. 239 yards, 1 touchdown, QBR 72. And then the flip side of things, again, it's pretty comparable to Teddy Bridgewater's stats: 22 out of 34, 269, 1 touchdown. I mean, they're pretty much like identical. It's kind of funny. The running backs and the quarterbacks have identical stat lines. But
I think the biggest thing was no turnovers. I mean,
yeah, that's big. That is big, man. In the NFL, especially, whoever typically wins the turnover battle wins the football game. It really matters. And then, so what do you think about the decision to not run McCaffrey on that big game-deciding play?
I mean, as a Raider fan, I was shocked.
Yeah.
But I take it, of course. But, man, in those situations, you don't think plays. You think players.
Yep.
Just give it to him and live with it. And, like, you tell me he can't jump over people. I mean, that's just Matt Rule. Like, you're first-year head coach, but you got to give it to McCaffrey, man.
Yeah, Matt Rule. You know, I thought he did a good job overall, his first coaching performance in the NFL, but that's a big mistake there. You know, I like to live by the motto, you know, you dance with who you brung. That's kind of a little motto that I've always lived by, and it's kind of means who got you there and who's a good player. It's kind of like the Warriors, for example. If they got to where they are draining threes, there's no need to turn into an interior inside the paint team, right? You do what you do. You dance with who you brung. Your best player on both sides of the field is Christian McCaffrey. He's the best player. And you don't feed him the ball on that critical rushing attempt. I mean, that's a learning experience. You know, that's all I can say. What do you think about Henry Ruggs? I know he looked really good before he got hurt.
Explosive, fast, efficient. Give him the ball as many ways you can, screens, end arounds, sweeps, all that. And he was open on the first play of the game. I mean, I'm not gonna blame Derek Carr, but I'm like, just fit it in there. Just give it to him. But I think he'll have the whole season. He's gonna break one off. I know it. He's gonna get long.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually was really high on him going into the season, and not even just that in college. I thought, in my opinion, he was the wide receiver 1 in the draft. I know that's pretty controversial because there's a lot of talented receivers, Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, and you know, I think those are the guys that a lot of people would probably have picked over him, or at least fans would have, right? But I actually watched a lot of Henry Ruggs' tape in college coming out, and I thought, like you said, of course, everyone knows the guy is explosive. The guy is fast. He's a big playmaker all over the field. But what really impressed me with Ruggs is he's a smaller guy. He doesn't have a big frame, but he's fearless to go up for balls. He's not afraid of contact. He makes contested catches. And normally out of something, that guy that runs, he running the 4.2, right? Runs in the 4.2s. Normally from a guy or a low 4.3s, one of the two. From a speedster, typically you don't have a guy who attacks the football. He's kind of a track and field guy, what they say. But Ruggs, I mean, he attacks the football, not afraid, and that really separated him from, you know, other receivers, and that's why he was my wide receiver 1. So hopefully he can get healthy here, and I'm really curious to see how he does.
I mean, this is the biggest test so far. I mean, it's week 2, of course, but I mean, I give Derek Carr a good game, but it don't mean nothing unless you can do it against the big boys.
No, I agree. The Panthers aren't the Saints. And kind of transitioning, what is your prediction for this week's game?
I honestly think we're gonna win.
Okay.
Just because of no Michael Thomas, we win by I say 3. I said we win by 3. Okay. And Josh Jacobs has a big game. Darren Waller has a big game. I don't know why. We're at Vegas. I just have a feeling, man. No Michael Thomas. That's a big deal. Emmanuel Sanders, you're scary, but you're not that scary.
No, I agree. It's a big difference playing without Michael. I kind of went back and forth about it. I was like, part of me said the Raiders are going to have an upset. Part of me, I was like, yeah, you know, the rushing attack, Josh Jacobs, they're coming in hot. I think that they're much improved compared to last season. I think they're much improved just in general. If you compare them, they're not the old Raiders 2 years ago. You know, they're not. They're a different football team. I actually like what is being built there. I think it's a new era of Raider football, new stadium, beautiful stadium. So I was sitting there thinking, they're opening that stadium up. against one of the best teams in football, and know that Michael Thomas is out. And I wanted to say the Raiders. But I had to pick the Saints just because I know how good their defense can be as far as pass rush, Marshawn Lattimore. You know, I was just sitting there and I thought about Drew Brees. I thought about Alvin Kamara. It was hard to go against the Saints. So I have it 27-20.
Yep.
27-20. I have a 27-20, a pretty close game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think that Drew Brees might make that game-winning touchdown in the last drive to win it. But hold up, Raider Nation. Yep. I'm not saying I would be surprised if they won. I wouldn't be surprised. But if I had to bet, if I had to put my money on it, I'd have to go with the Saints. I think that's pretty respectable. But kind of what is your breakdown now talking about the Raiders? What grade would you give them from week 1 overall? And then what would you say – how would you say the NFC or the AFC West is going to shake up? I mean, what do you think? How are the dominoes going to fall?
So for the grade of the game versus the Panthers, okay. I give them a B. Mm-hmm. Offense did very well, but there were some times where they were okay for play calling. Yeah. Defense was actually really bad until the fourth quarter until we made a couple big stops, but still, like, that needs to get cleaned up because against the Panthers, I mean, they're good on offense. They have McCaffrey, but you're playing the Saints. So, clean that up. Take it a B. Derek Carr did good. Josh Jacobs, I mean, you can't ask for more. And then AFC West, I think it is the Chiefs. I mean, they're top dog till anyone else says so. Like, the Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. No, I think it'll go Chiefs. And then we're gonna go second. We're gonna beat the Broncos and the Chargers. I'm not worried about them. We're gonna get the last wild card spot because there's an extra one. So we're gonna grab that last one.
Okay, got it. No, I think that's respectable. I think that. I mean, off the top of my head, I'd have to. I might want to say this for another video as far as what I think my playoff predictions will be for the whole entirety of playoffs. I'm gonna save that one for another week for us. But I think the Raiders will be. I do agree. I think the Raiders will be the number 2 in the AFC West. I think they're going to make the wild card. Mm-hmm. And I could see the Raiders making a little noise. I could. So kind of, do you want to kind of break down what the schedule here? I kind of broke down the Niners. What do you think here about the Raiders?
Yeah, I'll run through it quick. Let's see. Saints. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. I don't know how. We're gonna win.
Okay, that's 2 wins.
At New England, I think we're going to lose that game.
Okay.
That defense is just too good. And then we're home against Buffalo. I think we steal that one. They're good, but I think we win that one. At KC, we never win at KC. That's a loss. That's just not happening. Home versus Tampa, Sunday night. I think we lose that game.
All right, I like it. I like no bias here. Just this is gotta.
Now this is where we get on the run.
Okay.
Cleveland win.
That's 4.
Baker, you're not. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, no. Let's just talk about that for like 1 second. I have to cut you off. Baker, you have Odell Beckham. Baker, you have Jarvis Landry. Baker, you have Austin Hooper, who you just signed. At one point, the highest paid tight end in NFL history. At one point, Austin Hooper. You have Kareem Hunt at running back. You have Nick Chubb at running back. If you cannot get it done with this offense, Baker, you won't get it done ever.
You just don't look that good out there, man. Force it to your stars. Give it to your stars.
Yeah, you have to. And it's just like, and especially, you just hired a head coach who literally is an offensive-minded coach, and you still can't get it done. I mean, come on, Baker. So anyways, we have Cleveland's done.
Winning at Cleveland. We're winning in LA because we own LA.
Yep, 5 right there.
We're winning at Denver because it's at home. It's not there. We're gonna lose against the Chiefs. I'm sorry,
that's tough.
We beat Atlanta barely.
Yeah, Atlanta's not bad. I know they're
not bad, but I think I feel like we find a way. I don't know why.
Okay.
Beat the Jets.
Yeah, that's pretty safe to say.
Colts. Oh, we're playing Phillip Rivers? Yeah, give me that. Give me
Throw a couple picks.
home against the Chargers. I think we win that one too.
All right, so that's 10 right there.
We lose against the Dolphins because they'll have Tua.
And I also think too, it could be a trap game.
Yeah, I have a feeling we might.
You know you gotta always. There's gonna be upsets always. You know, it's a trap game. You have the Chargers and you have Denver, 2 divisional opponents. You have that. It's a trap game.
We
Right?
got so far.
You got 10 wins right now.
At Denver, it'll be cold. Derek Carr doesn't play good in the cold. I'm sorry. We lose that game, but we still make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think 10 is fair. I do. I think 10 is fair. I think that's accurate. I think 10. I don't know how the dominoes are going to fall this year. You know, I expect this is how. I mean, kind of briefly, I expect the Ravens and Steelers to make the playoffs. I expect the Chiefs and Raiders to make the playoffs. I expect. Oh man, the AFC South is kind of tricky. The Titans.
I'm calling right now. The Jags gonna find a way.
You're gonna find a way to win the division, or you're gonna find a way?
No. Huh? No, they're not gonna win the division, but they're gonna sneak. They might sneak in.
I mean, you never know. I mean, they could win the division. I mean, the
Minshew
AFC South
is real. He's good. I don't know what people say. He's actually really good.
Yeah. But I'm going to cut it off right there for the playoff predictions. I'm going to another video. But, you know, I could definitely see them doing that. I would say 9 to 10 wins, I think, is where they're at. And
That's
then kind of reverting back here, I actually didn't get to see your opinion about the 49ers schedule. Did you kind of agree with me 11 wins, or did you think like 10 or 11? I think non-biased opinion too. I mean, obviously you don't like the Niners.
Okay, you call out the games and I'll run it for you, wins or dogs. I'll go quick. Ready?
Yeah. Jets
win.
Giants.
You're gonna win.
Eagles.
Loss.
Okay. Dolphins.
Win.
Rams.
Loss.
Patriots.
You're gonna win.
Okay. Seahawks.
You're gonna lose.
Packers.
You're gonna lose.
Saints.
You're gonna win.
Okay, because I was gonna say Rams.
You're at LA. I already said that the Rams are gonna beat you, right?
Yep.
You're gonna lose to the Rams.
All right, Bills.
Bills are gonna sneak you.
Oh,
you're gonna win that game. Washington, you're gonna win.
Okay.
Cowboys, Zeke eats and they win.
Man, Cardinals.
They're gonna win again.
Whoa.
They're at home. Seahawks. Seahawks always they find a way to lose this game, but I'm telling you that Jamal Adams and Russell Wilson, they're gonna win.
Okay. All right. So how many wins do you think that you had us at? I'm not gonna. I have the number right here, but.
7?
Not even looking. Just
7?
It's 6.
Oh, I had you at 6 wins.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a tough schedule.
I'm not high on this Niners team. I don't. Maybe they're not all healthy, but I get it. But it's just. I mean,
after week 1, I think having that type of reaction is fair. I think it's fair. I do think they're going to have more than 6 wins. Yeah. I think their worst is 8-8. I think that's their bottom, and I think their top is 11 wins. So I think they're going to be most likely 9 to 11 wins. I think if I had to bet, I would say wild card playoffs. But you know, they have a tough schedule. Okay, so we're going to briefly go through week 2 of the NFL. I'm going to have you start this off, actually. Bengals, Browns, Thursday Night Football.
Joe Burrow gets his first win and has a decent game, pretty good. But okay. Baker's not going to do well. Bengals will win.
Okay, I got it. Bengals win. You know, first NFL winning game. I thought he played pretty well last game. So, yeah, I think that's fair. Giants, Bears. I'm going to have to go with the Bears here. I have to go with the Bears. I don't think the Bears are a great football team, but I think if you compare them to the Giants, I think that the Giants' offensive line is very shaky, and I think the Bears have a good defensive line. I'm going to go with the Bears. Mm-hmm. Rams, Eagles.
Rams will win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Rams here. I think the Eagles, good football team, 2 injured. Falcons, Cowboys. I'm going to go Cowboys here. I think they bounce back. They had a close game there against the Rams. Debatably could have won. That was a whole nother topic. But I think Cowboys have the stacked offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zeke's going to eat. I think Amari's going to eat. I think Michael Gallup's going to eat. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to eat.
Yeah.
I think they're in the right place. I think they're going in the right direction. I'm going to go Cowboys. Panthers, Buccaneers.
Tom Brady will win at home. They're going to beat the Panthers. Oh, yeah, they're going to.
Yeah. Yeah, first game as a first win as a Buccaneer. So I agree. 49ers, Jets. Know the Niners are banged up. I know they don't have any receivers. I know they don't have corners right now. I know they don't have offensive line. The 49ers will go into, what is the stadium? Freaking MetLife?
Yep.
Yeah, go into MetLife Stadium and go in there and get a W somehow, some way.
You're not losing against Adam Gase. I'm not losing.
Yeah, I just somehow, some way, Shanahan will draw up some plays, get guys open. I think Jerick McKinnon's going to be more involved in the passing game. I think we're going to see Jordan Reed, really show how he was such a great player before all those concussions. So I'm curious to see. Let's see. I'm going to go Niners there. Broncos, Steelers.
Steelers are going to win. Big Ben's back, second game, get things rolling. Their defense is just too good.
Their defense, literally just shut down Saquon rushing, shut him down. I mean, I got to go Steelers. That defense, I think that's the best in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not debating. They look good.
They look really good. Jaguars, Titans here. I'm going to go I know the Jags played really well. I know this is a tough one. The Jags played really well last week, but I am going to go Titans here simply because their defense. I'm going to have to go Tennessee.
Yeah.
Lions, Packs.
Packers home. Lions, you always find a way to lose a game. And Packers are just big dog anyways in that division.
No, they are. They are. I agree. The Lions, they've had good football teams. And Matthew Stafford, I think, is actually a little debate here. I think Matthew Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks. But it is fine. They're the Lions. They find a way to lose. The Bills, Dolphins, I'm going Buffalo here. I think the defense is just too good. Unless we see some Fitz magic, we know he's capable of it, but
we're at home.
A little Fitz magic, but I got to go safe here. I got to go Buffalo. Vikings, Colts.
Vikings bounce back. They don't lose to no Phillip Rivers. And yeah, they just bounce back from that loss against Packers. They're gonna win handedly.
Yeah, no, I agree. They have to bounce back. They have to. It's after that loss. We have Washington and the Cardinals. I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals here. I know Washington has a good defense, but I just think the Cardinals are just going to build upon what they did to the 49ers. I know the Washington has a good D-line and the Niners have a good D-line, but I think they're going to keep it going. I'm going to go Cardinals there. Ravens, Texans.
Ravens, man. Texans are not the same. They don't have that super deep threat like D-Hop. Deshaun doesn't look great. Comfortable back there. Ravens are going to win that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chiefs, Chargers. Chiefs, I don't think I have to really explain that. Patriots, Seahawks. That's a good one.
We could both do this one. Let's do it. I think Seahawks will win. Jamal Adams. That's just the decider. Then Cam, they were good, but you're not playing the Dolphins. You're playing the Seahawks, and Seahawks will win.
I'm gonna go with Seattle. I think that Russell Wilson's gonna make plays. Like he always does. I think that the Seahawks defense is much improved with Jamal Adams back there. I think he makes a huge difference in coverage and then also in blitz. I mean, he gets to the quarterback. Cam Newton, I think he looked pretty good from his first game back after injury, but let's not lie to ourselves. He's still Cam Newton. He still can't throw the football too well. And in order to beat Seattle, I think he's going to have to make some throws. And I got to go Seattle here. And then we go to the final one, Saints and Raiders. We kind of already reiterated on that. I'm going to tell you, I'm going Saints.
Raiders.
So I told you our thoughts about week 1 performances of the 49ers, the Raiders. And then we also kind of talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talked about week 2 predictions, NFC West predictions. We talked about AFC West predictions. and we'll be back with more episodes.
Yep.
You know, I think we're going to have Kevin on here. This might turn into a weekly thing where we go back and we, you know, watch film, we break down stuff, we figure out what went wrong, and give our predictions each week. So we're just going to kind of break it down for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one. Stay tuned for next episode. Thank you for making it to this point in the video. I really appreciate all of you guys. We put a ton of hard work into this video. And if you could do us a favor, please subscribe to my account. It's Trav the Sav. It's the video you're watching right now. And then my friend's account here, my co-host, Sports Talk with Kevin Lee. Thank you guys so much, and stay safe, stay blessed.